I want to give Kevin Durant credit for taking the high road, for not rehashing old stuff. If he had given a different answer, it would have started a totally different news cycle that he would have had to answer for the next time he spoke to the media.
Absolutely.
And maybe repeatedly. And so I think he did the smart thing here. And I think it was the right thing by an organization that for 3 years, for the better part of 3 years, tried to always do the right thing by Kevin Durant. Now, I do not believe him. I do not think this is the honest answer. And in fact, I know he was pressured when the owner says during the Western Conference Finals he'll be back for the NBA Finals.
Maybe Kevin Durant looks at it as if it wasn't pressure, because maybe Kevin Durant, his goal was the same, and maybe the information that the owner was talking about, Kevin doesn't feel like it pressured him.
Okay.
Like maybe Kevin thought Game 5 was always the game he was going to come back.
Well, he said that Game 5 was the game I was always going to come back. But then Steve Kerr and the injury report, they left the door open him coming back in Game 2, and then it was released by somebody to reliable reporters, I think Chris Haynes, they expect him back in Game 3. KD says, I was always targeting Game 5. But throughout this interview, and credit to Chris Haynes, who's done a great job covering this league over the last few years, but particularly this year, for getting a sit-down at Kevin Durant's house in Malibu to get this. But KD also said he didn't make his decision to go to the Nets until the morning of June 30th. That he and Kyrie Irving had not discussed playing together, that it was, yeah, they're friends and it's a happy coincidence. There are a lot of things said in this article that I do not believe to be the accurate history, but I am not criticizing Kevin Durant for presenting it. And when it comes to the injury front, I think it was the smart move to not worry about something you can't fix in the past.
Yeah, the thing that I have and the issue that I have was the information that I was gathering. A person that's tore both of his calves. A person that knew it was on the board, if I didn't get it cleared up, if I didn't get that calf cleaned up, that my Achilles would be jeopardized. So for me, I don't have a problem with Kevin Durant playing. I don't have a problem with an athlete pushing himself. My biggest problem happens to be with the information. Golden State said he was not jeopardizing his Achilles by going out there and playing on a pulled calf. And that was not the truth. Obviously, he goes into the game and gets hurt early in the game. So the information that they were moving forward with, there was better information. So I can understand Kevin saying, I would have pushed myself regardless, knowing that it was going to be the finals and everything. I can understand that. I expect him to do that. I would have done that. And afterwards, I would be doing the same thing with Kevin Durant. I would be saying the same thing. Just because the owner said Kevin Durant will be coming back does not mean that Kevin Durant felt the pressure. Now, do I accept what the owner did? No, because there was a better way to do it. He didn't have to say that. And the information with the coaching staff saying that they weren't jeopardizing his Achilles and continuing staying to that messaging point, I know that that wasn't accurate. But a great athlete, an average athlete, any athlete at that level is going to try to come back and push themselves to get on the court.
All right, so let's spin this forward now to next season, whether or not we see KD, who knows. When we do actually see the return of Kevin Durant on the basketball court, which version of him are we going to see? Is it going to be the same one, do we think, that we last saw?
Sorry to interrupt. It'll be a version we've never seen before. Now, it doesn't mean he won't be a great player. It doesn't mean he won't one day once again be an MVP candidate. But if we see him at all this year, and in this article he's asked about it, and he says, I don't know, like I'm working, essentially, gives, I think, the right answer on that. This year, we're not going to see anything close to old Kevin Durant. And I would imagine the following season, we're not going to – the last time we saw Kevin Durant, he was giving you, what was it, 41, 7-7 over the last 6 games of the playoffs?
Yeah, but that's in the playoffs. What the intensity they're going to play at in the regular season. Will we see the Kevin Durant that played in the regular season?
Yeah, so
I think it's a fair question.
I don't think he is. He was right there to become the best player in basketball. I think now the mountain he has to climb is, can I be a top 5 player? I think that is, and I don't think that's an indictment on him, but this is, aside from a spinal cord injury, this is the worst injury a basketball player can suffer, even in 2019.
If you're trying to rely on your athletic ability. I totally disagree with Nick. And the reason why, modern technology, I talked to my doctor. My doctor said there is no reason Kevin Durant in 6 months, 6.5 months, won't be 100%. And the reason why I don't believe it, not only the technology, not only the stretching and the way they get the athletes up and moving them a lot quicker now, there's been no athlete, there's been no basketball player that is a pure basketball player as Kevin Durant. You can't compare him to Dominique Wilkins. You can't compare him to Rudy Gay. You can't compare him to Kobe Bryant. He's a better scorer of basketball than Kobe. Yeah, Kobe, his Achilles was going to hurt him the way he played offense. The way he went at it recklessly, it's going to hurt him. But as a jump shooter, as a scoring machine, his Achilles and being tightening of that Achilles, to me, is not going to limit him. And I do believe we will see a version of Kevin Durant that we are very familiar with and used to seeing. I do believe he will be a top player again based on the medical, based on how he plays the game, and we've never had a jump shooting guy like him injure his Achilles.
Right.
His Achilles injury doesn't affect his ability to shoot it, and him being at 7 foot, he can still shoot over top of a guy's head. So I believe the Kevin Durant that we're going to see, the basketball world, is one they're going to be very familiar with.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.